Close your eyes for just a moment. Now imagine living 2 million years ago. No electricity, no streetlights, no fire, no metal, no music, no language as we know it, just cold wind, deep darkness, and the distant roars of predators echoing through the night. This was the world of Homo habilis, our early ancestors. They didn't rule nature, they feared it. They wandered in small bands, scavenging for food, clinging to safety in numbers, using sharp stones not as weapons of conquest, but as desperate tools for survival. When the sun went down, the world became a death sentence. Without light, there was no warmth. Without warmth, no protection. They huddled together, trembling in the cold, listening to the rustle of brush, the growl of a lion, the snap of a twig behind them, wondering if tonight was the night they would become prey. You see, we weren't the hunters yet. We were the hunted. But even then, something was stirring. Our brains, though smaller, were growing. Our curiosity, it never stopped. We watched the sky. We tracked animals. We remembered where water flowed and fruit ripened. And then, one night, in the middle of a storm, lightning struck a tree. The forest blazed, flames danced across the ground, and for the first time in human history, something changed. That fire, it must have terrified them. They probably ran. But at some point, they came back. They watched it flicker. They felt its warmth. And they realized, maybe this thing wasn't just danger. Maybe it was opportunity. That moment, unwritten in any book, lost in the fog of prehistory, was the first spark in the story of us. It was the moment we stopped hiding from the night and began to shape it. Because the truth is, before fire, we survived. But after fire, we began to live. The first flame wasn't ours. It was nature's gift, a lightning strike, a lava flow, two stones clashing during a dry season. At first, we watched it from afar, terrified. The fire danced like a living spirit, devouring everything in its path. It roared, it hissed, it consumed. But something shifted. We stepped closer. Not out of recklessness, but out of something uniquely human. Curiosity. Maybe it was a mother holding her child. Maybe it was a young man, brave or foolish, who knelt beside the smoldering embers of a burnt tree. He reached out, not to fight, not to run, but to understand. That moment was humanity's first leap of intellect. We didn't just fear fire, we kept it. We learned to carry burning branches back to shelter. We protected it from rain and wind. We fed it dry leaves, small twigs, like caring for a living thing. For the first time in history, fire wasn't a destroyer. It became our companion, our first silent guardian in the dark. It gave us light. It kept the predators away. It warmed our bones. But more importantly, it changed our minds. We didn't just survive the night anymore. We sat down, we gathered, we stared into the flames and began to wonder. What stories were told in that glow? What thoughts flickered across our early minds? We couldn't write, we couldn't cook, we had no metal, no cities, no gods. But we had fire. And with it came something new. Possibility. From then on, we didn't flee from the night. We lit it up and made it ours. Fire didn't just warm our bodies. It warmed our hearts and brought distant minds closer together. When the sun dipped behind the hills and night claimed the sky, the fire wasn't fueled by dry wood alone. It was fed by memory, by laughter, by silent glances between people who were once just survivors. And now, something more. Before writing, before structured language, humans told stories around the fire, with gestures, with facial expressions, with growls mimicking predators and raspy whispers imitating the thrill of a hunt. That fire became our first stage. And storytellers? They were our first historians, our first dreamers, the keepers of the tribe's memory. It was there, in that flickering circle of light, that we learned the most essential truth. We are not alone. We learned to share meat from a hunt, to share space near the warmth, to share fear and joy through laughter, touch, or just a look. Fire made us sit together. It stopped our wandering. It gave us a reason to gather, not just for safety, but for meaning. And when you gather people together long enough, something magical happens. That bond, born around fire, changed the way we lived. People began to take roles. The elders told stories. The strong went out to hunt. The skilled made tools. The children, they listened. They watched. They learned. Not through genes, but through stories. That was the birth of tradition, of culture, of collective memory. Caves were no longer just shelters. They became homes. And fire wasn't just light. It was a spark for the soul.